All right, let's dive in. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on a force that shapes your choices every single day, from the phone in your pocket to the airline you fly. It's called an oligopoly, and it's the hidden power structure behind so many of the world's biggest industries. And if you've ever had that feeling, you're not imagining things. It's the classic signature of an oligopoly at work. See, this isn't a market with tons of competitors, and it's not a monopoly run by a single company. No, this is something different. It's more like a kingdom ruled by a small council of powerful rivals. And trust me, they're all watching each other's every move. So here's our game plan for today. First, we'll cover what an oligopoly even is. Then we'll get into the strategic games these companies play. We'll look at the big choice they always face, to compete or to collude. Then we'll see how all of that affects your wallet. And finally, we'll touch on how governments try to keep these giants in check. Okay, let's jump right into section 1. To really get a grip on this, we first need a clear idea of what we're actually talking about. So here's the key thing to get. We're not talking about one company ruling everything, and we're not talking about countless small businesses. An oligopoly is this unique middle ground, where just a handful of big firms have all the power, and they're all hyper-aware of what the others are doing. So these markets really have 4 defining features. 1, they're dominated by just a few companies. 2, and this one is absolutely crucial, we're going to come back to it, they are strategically interdependent. 3, it's really hard for new companies to break into the market. And 4, the products they sell can be basically identical, like steel, or super different, like our smartphone. You know, this table really puts it all into perspective. Just look at that last row. If you're in a perfectly competitive market or you're a monopoly, you don't really have to spend your days worrying about what your rivals are up to. But in an oligopoly, that strategic back and forth, well, it's not just part of the game, it is the game. So you might be asking, why don't new companies just jump in and compete? Well, it's because these barriers to entry are like a giant fortress wall. I mean, you might need billions of dollars just for a new factory, or you're trying to compete against a brand people have trusted for decades. And then you've got things like patents or network effects, where a service gets more valuable the more people use it. All of this makes it incredibly tough for a new player to even get a foot in the door. Okay, so that brings us to our next section, where we really get into the heart of this high-stakes economic game. Okay, so this is that term I said was so important, strategic interdependence. It means that before a company does anything, launches a new phone, changes a price, even runs a new ad campaign, they have to be thinking, okay, how are my rivals going to react to this? And what's my counter move going to be when they do? Yeah, this really sums it up perfectly. It is exactly like a chess match. One company dropping their prices isn't just a sale. No, it's a strategic move on the board. And you can bet it's going to trigger an immediate countermove, which makes the whole market super dynamic and, honestly, pretty unpredictable. Okay, so let's walk through an example. This is where we get something called price rigidity. Just imagine you're running one of only 3 major airlines. You think, hey, I'm going to cut my ticket prices to steal some customers. What do you think the other 2 are going to do? Yeah, you guessed it. They're going to match your price cut, almost instantly. They have to, or they'll lose all their customers to you. All right, so what about the other way? What if you try to raise your prices? Well, your rivals are just going to sit back, keep their prices the same, and say thank you very much as all your former customers flock over to them. Suddenly, you're the expensive one with a bunch of empty seats. So you see the dilemma, right? Cutting prices just starts a race to the bottom where nobody really wins. And raising prices means you lose all by yourself. So what's the safest bet for everyone? Just keep prices where they are. And that is why you so often see gas stations right across the street from each other with identical prices, or why airline ticket prices seem to move in lockstep. So this dynamic forces every one of these firms to a fundamental crossroads. Do we fight a brutal, expensive battle, or do we find a quiet way to cooperate? Basically, they have 2 main paths they can go down. On one hand, they can compete. But like we just saw, price wars are basically corporate suicide. So instead, they fight on other battlegrounds. We're talking bigger ad budgets, cooler product features, better customer service, anything but price. Or there's the second path, collusion. This is where they secretly agree to act like one giant monopoly, coordinating on prices or production to drive up profits for the whole group. Now, the most blatant form of this is a cartel. This is where companies make a formal, and almost always illegal, agreement to control the market. But here's the catch. Cartels are famously unstable. And why is that? Well, there's this massive incentive to cheat. While the whole group benefits from high prices, any single member can make a quick killing by secretly breaking the agreement and selling just a little bit more than they're supposed to. So, a much more subtle and often legal way they do this is through something called price leadership. It's pretty simple, really. One dominant firm, maybe the biggest one, just sets a price, and all the others just quietly follow along. It's a clever way to keep prices stable without having any of those illegal backroom meetings. Okay, this is all really interesting from an economic standpoint, but let's get to the real question. What does all of this actually mean for you and me, the people buying stuff? Well, it's kind of a classic good news, bad news situation. The good news? Those huge profits they make can fund some seriously cool innovation. I mean, think about how much your smartphone camera has improved over the last few years. That's funded by these profits. But the bad news is pretty significant. We almost always end up paying higher prices and have fewer real choices than we would in a market with tons of competition. And believe me, this isn't some abstract economic theory. This is the world we live in every single day. I mean, just think about it for a second. The airlines, the car companies, that epic rivalry between Apple and Samsung in the smartphone world. Even the payment networks like Visa and MasterCard that are behind almost every transaction you make. These are all perfect textbook examples of global oligopolies. So naturally, when you have a few companies with this much power, governments around the world tend to get a little nervous. And that's where regulation comes in. The whole point of regulation really is to try and get the best of both worlds. You want to encourage the good stuff, like innovation, while stamping out the bad stuff, like illegal price fixing. And their main tool for this is antitrust law. They use it to go after illegal cartels, to scrutinize big mergers, and generally to protect us, the consumers, from getting a raw deal. And honestly, if you take one thing away from this, it should be this idea right here. Oligopoly isn't some weird exception to the rule. In our modern global economy, it is the rule. It's pretty much the default setting for most of the biggest and most important industries out there. So I want to leave you with this question to chew on. In this massive, high-stakes game between a handful of powerful rivals, who's the real winner at the end of the day? Is it the companies raking in steady profits? Is it us, the consumers, getting amazing new products? Or is it the innovators who get to create the next big thing because of the system? The answer, just like the market itself, well, it's complicated.